Hello and welcome to another episode of the Hollywood Knitter. My name is Allison. I'm recording from my home in Los Angeles, California on Saturday, November 25th, 2023. And it has been a minute. I think my last podcast was in September, but I've been thinking about podcasting, and today I'm taking the time to sit down and do it because I've got stuff to show you, things to tell you about, and I just wanted to check in. I've been thinking about it. I have my cat Apple over here who's just joined me because she heard me talking. Yes, she's a talker. She's a talker and a lover. So anyways, we'll see if I ignore her if she goes away. So let's get started, shall we? First, let's start with my FO. This is the Orbits by Rachel Ilsley. This was my Rhinebeck sweater. It is in Camellia Fiber Company Sylvan fingering, which is 70% alpaca, 20% silk, 10% cashmere. And then the red is Ritual Dyes Maiden, which is an 80/20 and the Scorpio colorway. The white, the Camellia is about a little less than 3 skeins, so about 1,200 yards. And then the red was a little over half a skein, so like 250 yards. And it fits beautifully now. I really actually like it. I like the drape. I like the feel of it. It was not the easiest thing to knit. I started this in July. I think I finished it at the end of September. My gauge was definitely off. I had to go up a needle size, so my gauge was slightly tighter. And I think I followed the directions for like a 51, and I think I ended up with like a 42. I had to add a little bit for the sleeves. I had to reknit the sleeves to get them to fit right. I changed the decreases. Hers, she does more of a very little decreasing on the arm, and I wanted a tighter arm. And then I also had to like reknit under and decrease under the bust once I did the color work. So I redid the color work the last few rows to decrease a little bit. I'd stand up, but whatever. I'll put a picture here. As you can see, I have some really bright daylight that I'm trying to not step into to glare on you, but it looks great. It feels great. The only, as I said, some challenges with the sizing and my gauge and things like that. I think some of it might have been the pattern because I had friends, as I said, my friends were also knitting it and they had some issues, but maybe not the same issues. But in the end, because I'm a knitter and I am more process than product, like it doesn't hurt me to rip it out. Besides the time, that's what kills me more, not the actual reknitting of it, but the time it puts into it. So like this was a forever sweater, but happy with it overall. It's going to become my Christmas sweater. I think I'm going to wear it for Christmas with the family. We do Christmas with my boyfriend's family, a Christmas Eve celebration, so reminds me of Christmas. Now I will say, after I did the color work, I blocked it. And when I threw it in a block, this red ran. I noticed it right away, so I got it out and I threw some color. And I thought it might run, so I had thrown some color catchers and stuff in there. I didn't catch all of it. So if you look, it's kind of hard to see, but you can see it more in person. So like the sleeves were knit after the color work. So there's like, this is the right color. This is, this is the Hollyberry color, which is beautiful. This is pale white, just a little bit of blues and some specks of red. And then, but from here, it's a little bit pinker. And yeah, so that, it is what it is. I think I'm going to wear, the first time I wash it, so I have a few more wears before I wash it, I will just dunk it all and throw a color catch in there, but let the water go a little pink, and then let it be all over the same color. So it will become a slightly pink sweater with it, which I think I'll still love. And then it is what it is. I did, with the remainder of this yarn, actually rinse it and get the excess dye out. So when I use the rest of this yarn, it has already been taken care of. But overall, I love the feel of this yarn. It's so soft. It's so soft. I think it looks really great. I mean, I think it looks good. I did wear it to Rhinebeck the day of Rhinebeck that I went, and yeah, so overall I'm pleased with the sweater. The process of it probably wasn't the most fun, but I love the look of the color work. I like how, you know, it's a little different, and it reminds me of like ornaments or tinsel kind of going down. So really pleased with it. So this took a lot of knitting time. I only have 3 FOs from like September because a lot of it was the sweater, and because it wasn't a fun knit, I wasn't knitting as much. But the way I work is I can't have too many FOs. I mean, too many FOs, too many whips, too many things on the needle. So when I'm, I guess, not knitting as much because I'm maybe avoiding knitting, I don't pick up other ones because I need to finish it. I force myself to finish it. Maybe not fast enough, but anyways. So beautiful sweater. Pattern may be a little off, so your mileage may vary. Some people I think have had no problems, and then some people do. But it's Orbits by Rachel Ilsley. Next up is a hat that I cast on kind of as a palette cleanser. In between, it's the Circle and Square hat by Martina Bem. And this is some Noro sock yarn Neo that I picked up in Tokyo when I was there in 2018. And the construction of this hat is really kind of cool, which I think is why I'd had it in my favorites for so long. And it looks great with this kind of yarn. So you actually you knit this in a circle. And so this is actually a double layer hat. And so you knit in a circle out, out, and out, and then you do it as a half circle, and then you pick up and do this kind of back right here to close it up. So this back part right here is actually single knitting, or single thickness, versus everywhere that it's striped is double. And I'll put it on, though it's not really, doesn't look good with my hair back. But yeah, so it's really warm, and I think it was a cool use of the stripes. I enjoyed making it, and I'm gonna give it as a charity hat. I think I'm gonna send it to Knitters, and Knitters in the Rainbow, is who I sent some hats to last year, and I think I'll send it to them. So it will make someone a beautifully warm hat, and I liked knitting it, and I like the construction. It's different. And it was fingering. So, you know, this is almost 400 yards of fingering, kind of similar to a slash head. So it took me about a month, but it was such easy, mindless knitting. You know, you're just basically increasing every so often and knitting, increasing. So it's perfect. So this is Circle and Square hat by Martina Bem. Excuse the crinkle. I had a paper bag in here and the cat just went in the bag. So she is hanging out in there. We'll see what she does. And then the other thing I finished, these are the Obverse socks by Lisa Mulch. And I kind of made these my own. So the yarn that I used is Little Bean by Love Yarn and Blue Speckle Fade that I picked up. She was like an Etsy person that I actually got like the knitting cords from, the barber cords, and she had these really cool gradiating yarns. Now, her yarn actually went from gray all the way up to this light blue into dark blue, and then I basically took the end of the ball and did these kind of gradiating stripes, and then stopped, solid, and then gradiated it back in. So the actual color gradient goes from this gray to this blue to this dark blue. And I just pulled from the end of the ball to stripe it here. And then same thing up here. I just did the alternate to stripe it. So yeah, these are intended for my brother. I haven't made him tall socks before, so we'll see if he likes them. But I did see them when I was back east, which I'll talk about more. And he was wearing the knit socks. So he's definitely knit worthy, and he definitely likes knit socks. So that's all great. And this will be another pair that I already sent some when I was back. I brought like some of the knits I'd finished, and so I have wrapped them and left them back home. So he has some other socks, so these might be for next year, or birthday, or whenever I feel like it, but they'll be put away for him. She is definitely playing right in front of me. So that's all of the FOs I have. Now, let me put a caveat. I have another sweater that I finished that is actually blocking right now, but I'm not going to show it because it's blocking. and I will show it on the next one. And that one came, it was really quick because fingering takes forever. This other one is like a DK, and it even though I had to reknit it a few times, it still was super fast. But I'm going to leave that, as I said, for next time and just go with the orbits and then those two. Now, that means it was time to cast on another sweater. So I mentioned the sweater that I'll show you next time, my Metamorphic that I cast on and finished in the time that's blocking, and I'll show it to you later. And now I think for the rest of the year, I'm going to try to do some of my small projects. So at the beginning of the year, I make 9 with, I do a make 9. So let me pause this for a second. Okay, sorry about that. Hopefully she won't get into more trouble. As I was saying, so it was time to cast on for all the things, and I thought I would focus on those projects that I had actually earmarked at the beginning of the year to try to get rid of some of my old stash, which is always a New Year's kind of resolution for me. And I haven't done as many this year because my friends have been seducing me to sweaters and other things. And yeah, so my on the go project is socks, and these are just a standard oops, that's not them. Standard toe up socks. I am, because they're striped, but I still wanted to do something a little different. I am, let me pull it back here. I am alternating plain stockinette with just some Vanilla Bean by Emily O'Grady, my friend. Alternating that in the stripe. So which is just a slip stitch when the color change. So slip stitch, color change, solid, slip stitch, solid. Part of that has to do with where I was when I was knitting on these, which was in the car in the dark. And I couldn't see the color change to do that. So I was like, all right, well, I'm going to do it solid. So that's what I decided to do. I'm almost to the top. These are going to be for my boyfriend. The yarn is Canon hand dyes that I've had in my my stash for a while. I just love these color stripes. And then the heel and toe is a Tweety yarn from Fiber Nymph that I got in my advent last year. So yeah, so I've got almost one sock done. I will, these are my purse knitting, so they will get some more love soon. And yeah, oh, sorry. And then yesterday, I'm doing some traveling shortly. I actually fly out tomorrow. I'll talk about it in a minute. But I needed more projects. And as I said, I didn't want to do any more sweaters for this year. I wanted to get through some smaller projects and some things. So one of the ones that I've had on my Make 9, and I should have done it for Halloween, but I didn't, is Telly Bean Knits Boneyard Sweethearts. And I have some scraps I'm using. So I've cast on the brim, which this is a yak leftover I had, and then the body is going to be this green. This is Julie Knits, and I don't know, I've had it for a while, Partial Wall and Pesto, I think, and then some Barocco Comfort in white, and that's going to be the skeletons and the ghosts. So looking forward to this. As I said, this was a stash buster to get rid of some partial old skeins. And it shouldn't take that long. It's a color work, but it's only a hat. So, though it is done on US 2s, I think. So it's pretty small gauge. So I cast that on last night. And then the other thing I cast on was a shawl, which I haven't done a shawl in forever. And I'm going to be doing Amba O'Brien's Moonflower shawl. I don't know if her printout has a picture anywhere of what the shawl looks like. It is a mosaic knitting shawl. Ah, here it is. Oh, I can't push close. Anyway, so it's like a mosaic shawl. So actually lots of charts and paying attention, which is fine because I'm planning on this being my knitting for the plane where I can pay attention. And I've got barely anything cast on. Barely. Like literally just started. But the colors are going to be, this is going to be the background. So it's this dark green in, what is this color? This is Marigold Gent, the Deep End, and this is Fishnet Strong Heart in California Wildflowers, which was a 2017 Knockers colorway. So yeah, so these are going to be the flowers kind of, and this will be the darker background. So yeah, I've had these, as I said, this is a 2017, who knows when this one is, but they've been in my stash for a while, which is why I pulled them out and tried to figure out a project. And I will knit the shawl. I don't have anyone in mind for it. I've just started it, as I said, so I don't really have too much to say. Hopefully it will be relatively easy to memorize and do. I think it will. I mean, once I get into it, but I'll follow the chart. And as I said, I will have this as my knitting for Knit Plain. So then I have two more ready and skeined up, but I haven't cast them on yet. I'm gonna start a Rocket Tee again. It's been on my list and I picked up yarn for it last year. And then a scarf for my mom, where she picked out the yarn when we were in Virginia Beach last February. She actually asked me about it when I saw her. So now I'll get it on the needles. And that is Mad Tosh, you know, DK. So that will be like super fast. So those are all skeined up and ready to go. I might cast them on today or maybe soon. But yeah, that's what I have for right now. That's from my knitting. And yeah, as I said, I haven't, I would say September into early October, before I go through all those trips, I kind of was knitting along, just trying to get this done. And then I've been knitting quite a bit since then. So what have I been doing since September? I've been doing a lot. We went and finished out the last of the Hollywood Bowl series, where we had season tickets for their classical music nights on Thursday nights. So we went and did that. We went to Coldplay concert at the Rose Bowl, which was so much fun. I've seen Coldplay before. They put out a really good concert. I really just enjoy their music and enjoy their concert. So we did that. I have never been to a concert at the Rose Bowl, I don't think. And I hadn't been to a concert in a long time. So that was fun. The last bit of the LAFC, the Los Angeles Football Club season tickets. So we did a game for that. They're actually in the playoffs. I have missed the playoff games. And now, unless we get into the finals, we won't have any more home games. So I think we play Seattle tomorrow. And then for my birthday, since my birthday has passed since I last saw you, I am now 47. My birthday's on Halloween. I got us tickets to go see Nightmare Before Christmas, shown at the Hollywood Bowl, conducted by Danny Elfman. So Danny Elfman actually is the singing voice of Jack, and he brings in other people, and Catherine O'Hara was there to do Sally, Fred Armisen, and the original Oogie Boogie, and they do it, they basically play all of the music with an orchestra, and then they show the movie, and then they come sing live, and it's really fun. He's done it like 11 times at the Hollywood Bowl, so it's something he does very frequently, and this is my first time going, and it was fun. It was great to see like all the kids there and things like that. And then, if you don't know, Danny Elfman was in a band called Oingo Boingo in the 80s, I think. And they disbanded a while ago. But he has this great album and a great song called Dead Man Walking, which I love. And at the end, he actually brought out one of the original band members he played, and then a house band, and sang it. So that was fun. So that was kind of some of the social stuff I went. And then trips. I've been on 3 trips. Yeah, it's been a very heavy travel time. And then I have one more trip that I'm leaving for tomorrow. And then I don't really have anything on the books until February. So I have like 2.5 months before I have another trip. We'll see. I might do something in between. But early October, I went to New Orleans for the first time. So this was my annual girls trip with my college roommates. And yeah, so we went to New Orleans. It was a lot of fun. So we stayed at a hotel over near the French Quarter, but not in it. And we did a walking food tour, which was really fun. We got to walk around and try all of these foods and learn all the things. And then we did a cemetery tour, which was also a lot of fun. We had a wonderful dinner. That's our tradition, is we always go for a really nice dinner. And really just hanging out and being with each other, which is always great. But New Orleans was a really fun place. I'm definitely not a French Quarter Bourbon Street girl. Maybe 20 years ago. So we didn't really we only ever saw it when it was like not busy. Like we would walk through early in the morning and, you know, we'd be at the hotel in the evening, so we wouldn't really go out. But I could see when you're younger, that would be a lot of fun. And walk through the Garden District, which was a lot of fun. That was something that I wanted to do. So we went through, one of my friends and I, we just kind of went up and down and just checked out the houses. It's really kind of cool. So I would love to go back to New Orleans. I think I would like to see more of the city and outside of the city, because we obviously were just Ubering and walking around and things like that. So I feel we very much saw the more touristy part of the city, and I definitely like to see some of the non-touristy parts, and I think a vehicle would go a long way on that. So yeah, but that was a fun weekend, and we have not picked our location for next year. We'll have to get on that. We make a point of once a year getting together. So previous year we went to New York. So we will see who we go next year. Then I came back, and then 2 weeks later went back east for a big trip. So I was going to Rhinebeck with friends, and then the week before I went out to see my family, and we rented a house in New Hampshire on a lake up in Ware, New Hampshire. And so we did a long weekend there. So I flew out got there on a Friday, and then that day we drove to New Hampshire. We were there Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, came back on a Tuesday to the family. And that is my mom, my brother, my sister, my nieces, my nephew, and my sister's boyfriend. So it was just beautiful. We hiked, we hung out, we went kayaking twice. The leaves, I will say, definitely weren't as awesome as previous years, but it was still nice to see fall. I miss fall. I like fall. And it was a beautiful house, and it was just nice to hang out. And then I was back home for 2 days, and then my brother, my mom and I picked up my friend in Boston, and then we drove out and we went through. So my brother came out kind of last minute-ish. He's kind of in between major work, and so I kind of hired him to be our chef for the weekend. And so he did dinners for us most nights, and, you know, snacks and things like that. And so it was kind of nice. And then my mom, we had a little extra room, so I had my mom come out too. So went out to Rhinebeck, and Rhinebeck the house we stayed at was beautiful. It was about a half hour across the river, a little different than where we normally stay, a little downriver in Stone Ridge. And then my friend Janice from Queen City Yarns was vending at Wool'n Folk. So we had gotten tickets to go to Wool'n Folk. And I won't say a lot about Wool'n Folk. It was definitely, yeah. Let's say I went to Wool'n Folk and survived. Let's go. It was definitely not very well organized. It was not very well planned. There were too many people in too small of a space. And the rain, though the rain it was organization. I mean, everyone knows it could rain. Everyone knows the weather, and that wasn't it. If you had caught me maybe right after, I might have had more to say. But I went with friends, and I got to hang out with friends. I got to see friends. And, you know, once it got really rainy and we were outside, we ended up getting stuck right in front of the beer vendor. So we had a beer or two, and I had a great time. But because of how packed it was, because of the logistics, because it didn't feel very cohesive to buying, I didn't actually shop a lot. In fact, the only stuff I bought was at Wool'n Folk. So I'll show you my acquisitions now. But I didn't buy for really the rest of the weekend. So one of the vendors, I don't even know I'd never heard of this vendor. So it was Wool Dreamers, and they specialize in this vendor and bringing in this Wool Dreamers yarn, which is from Spain, which is very cool. I hadn't seen it before. It was I forget what the price was, but it was very reasonably priced. So I picked up, I'm going to show you, 10 balls, 8 of this green and then 2 of this cream. And it is Cautiva Wool Dreamers yarn. And this is 50 grams, 186 yards. So it's like a sport weight. And it's 100% local Lana wool. So it's definitely 100% wool. Oh, let me put it back here. So my idea is I'll either do a solid of this green, or I might make this a shocking stripes where the cream is my stripe. I haven't decided yet. So yeah, so I got enough for a sweater. So I got 10 total balls. So that should be more than enough for a sweater. And it was, as I said, I think all 10 balls were like $100, a little under $100. So, I mean, it was extremely reasonably priced. Maybe a little more than that. My pricing might be off. So this was my major purchase from Rhinebeck. The yarn I came back with, the most yarn I came back with. And then I picked up a skein of yarn for my friend Janice. I got a skein of her Latte Classic, which is her new base. It is 100% non-superwash merino wool. And I specifically got this to do a hat. I have a Spin Cycle gold that I'm going to do an Alpine Bloom hat. So that's what I picked up from her. And if you're looking for a wonderful yarn, this Latte yarn is wonderful. And then my friend Holly gave me a gift, Woolens and Nosh, and mainly because of the colorway name, it is Boss Ass Bitch. I love that. Woolens and Nosh was actually a vendor there. She's a vendor at Zombie Apocalypse too. Wonderful self-striping yarn. So, but this was a gift and it was nice. Other than that, as I said, I walked through Wool'n Folk. There were a lot of people. There were a lot of great vendors, but because of the, I don't know, when you're crowded, when it's, you know, wall-to-wall people, when you're wet, when all these things, I just wasn't in the shopping mood. And to be fair, I didn't have a long list of things to shop for. So, but in general, Wool'n Folk, will I ever go again? No. I mean, we got early bird pricing, so I think our tickets were like $45, but it wasn't, I didn't get any value for that. And my friends had gone the previous years and she loved it because it was the folk of Wool'n Folk. So so we thought we were going to be able to hang out and knit and listen to music. And everyone, if you've not heard about it, you probably should have by now, but organizer change. There were 2 organizers previously. One split away because they had different visions is what I heard. And then, so it primarily became just a shopping event and not a very well organized shopping event. The vendors, I mean, you can go in and see all of the different things from the vendors. It was just poor planning. So I'm guessing Wool'n Folk has died a death. And, the other 2 that go on that weekend, because these are all kind of Rhinebeck events, Indie Untangled, which I went to the first 2 years it was there, and then similar, it had a crazy year where it was super crowded like this, but smaller in a hotel ballroom, and I was like, no, I don't need anything that bad. I don't. And so we haven't gone back to Indie Untangled and then Cake Palooza. Lots of shopping opportunities. It's really fun to see new vendors and things like that, but nothing, you know, I see lots of yarn vendors. I'm not a crazy, you know, stash person where I buy a lot of things that, you know, as it stands right now, my stash has more sweater quantities than I am not okay with, but I'm good right now. I have to get a few more sweaters, a few more things off the needles, and then maybe I'll feel an urge to shop again. I definitely have a size limit to my stash that I like. I have a few bins in my closet and then, you know, a yarn cabinet, and I don't want to exceed that. So anyways, so Wool'n Folk, then the next day, it was raining, and so we kind of chilled in the morning and took our time to get to Rhinebeck Festival. I think we got there like 1 or 2 in the afternoon. Walked around, saw a few things, you know, stayed till it closed. I didn't buy anything. I just walked around with my mom and my brother. Other people bought some stuff. And then Sunday plans got changed a little bit. My friend had taken the train up from DC, and there was a landslide, and that shut down the Amtrak tracks. And so there was really no good way to get from Rhinebeck back to New York to catch the train to go to DC. So we drove her to New York City. So that was, I don't know, hour and a half, one way. So, you know, the round trip. So to get her to the train that she was supposed to meet so she could get home. So that was kind of Sunday. And then we just chilled when we got back. And then I actually started to get sick. I got a cold, like a cough. So on Monday, wasn't feeling well. So, kind of just chilled out and, yeah, just chilled. That's kind of what I did the rest of the time, which honestly, I like chilling with my friends, just sitting around and knitting. But yeah, I came back, I ended up having a cough. So I couldn't go into work right away. I had to, like, you know, get a little more over it. And, my plan had been to come back on, I think I flew back on Tuesday, and I was going to go to work on Wednesday, and I didn't. I wasn't feeling well. And then I think I telecommuted the rest of the week. So by Monday, the following Monday, I was okay enough to go into the office. But, yeah. So got a cold. That was fine. As I said, my Rhinebeck goodies were the Cautiva yarn, which we'll see, and then minimal kind of little things there. What else do I got? Oh, my friends, one of the friends I went to New Orleans with, she got me some little gifts for my birthday. She sent me some pins, some knitting pins. These are from Mini Knots. I think she went on Etsy. So yeah, she got me this. She got me this cool little sock one. This is from another Etsy crafter. You can kind of see right here. It's a little, I like this one, a little sock. And then I think she sent me, again, I think she sent me all of this because there's no thank you. She sent me, she must have went on a vendor and got these knitted by Allison. Here, yeah, here we go. Little fabric things I can sew on to my projects. Knitted by Allison. So yeah, it was very cute. Very nice. There's a whole bunch of these too. There must be like 100 of them. I don't even know who the Etsy seller. I guess it's Made Day Labels. So if you're in the mood for some labels, it was very cute. Very cute. Themed gift for myself, for my friends. Then what else did I do? We came back. A few weeks later, I did go to a wedding down in San Diego. That was fun. I hadn't dressed up in a while, so that was good. Got a new dress, you know, heels. I need to go shoe shopping. That's what I figured out. My black heels that I probably have had for 15 years have given up the ghost. They got one more wear. We ended up shining them up, and I got one more wear, but this particular venue is very uneven, very grassy, and it just killed the heel. And they weren't great. They were really comfortable to me, but I think I got them at Target like 15 years ago. They were just plain black pumps, and I loved them because they were so comfortable. But now I need to go. On my list of things at some point is to get another pair of black pumps because now I don't have any more. But I got to dress up, and that was fun. And it was my boyfriend's niece was getting married, and it was very lovely. And then I came back and went and met my friend Priscilla, who I haven't seen in forever, and we went to the Southern California Fiber Fest, another Fiber Fest. And I came away with that one without any yarn at all. Again, beautiful vendors, beautiful yarns. Some of them I used to see at Stitches West. Some were brand new to me. As a comparison to like Wool & Folk, it was in the Pomona Fairgrounds, in a big building, lots of space, not so, no crowding, and just really easy to walk through. I met her on Sunday. Entry was like $20, and we went around. Now, I did buy stuff though. some Christmas gifts. One of the potters that used to go to Stitches West, so I have their mugs and I love it. It's Cunero Pottery, and they're actually out of Oregon. I was surprised to see them so far. And this is the beautiful, I have a mug that's like this. So I picked up a bowl, and this was actually going to be a gift for my my mother-in-law for Christmas. And I had to just buy something, mainly because I just really love the pottery. The two mugs that we have are some of our favorites. I have one and my boyfriend has one. And as I said, I would love to have bought another mug, but I'm not buying any more mugs until I break one. The other thing I got though was a soap dish, and this is going to be a gift for my boyfriend. He actually uses soap in his shower, so I thought I would get him a nice soap dish. So Cunero Pottery, as I said, I'm going to link this because I love them. They do great. And now that Stitches West is defunct, I was asking if they were going to be coming to this regularly because he asked how I heard about it. And I heard about it from various Instagram people I follow, but he said that it's kind of a haul for him because he is in Oregon, but he has family in the area, so you might see him again. So there was that. I also picked up, and I don't have the vendor's name, but there's someone who's doing all of these knitting stickers, and they were really reasonably priced. They were like $3, and I picked up this one, and it is a yarn ball and a scorpion because I'm a Scorpio. This is going to go in my water bottle that I have, a new water bottle. And then the other one I picked up is this little ghosty with the little orange ball, also going to go in my water bottle. But yeah, she had a lot of cute stickers, knitting themed and stuff. So that was cute. One of the vendors was a crochet vendor, and she had all these great stuff that she had made. And I picked up a few things. Where was the other thing I picked up? All right, I picked up 3 things from her, and they were all reasonably priced. So one is this little mushroom. Look at how cute that is. Little mushroom pot. I'm going to stick it somewhere. This is for me. And then I also picked up this little ornament. This is going to go on my little mini tree that I do for Christmas. And yeah. And then the other thing I picked up, which I think this was like $10. This was like $5. So super reasonably. It's this little basket of flowers. And always, again, so hard to get gifts for people. So I'm going to give this to my mother-in-law as well with that bowl. She is an avid gardener. She doesn't need anything. She is turning 90 this year. She has everything she ever needed, but she does like kind of tchotchkes and garden. And she's a crocheter. So I thought she would appreciate the craftsmanship that went into this. And, all the little flowers that are on there. It's just so cute, and it's a little basket. So yeah, so that was probably my very small little gift that I'm going to give her this year. She's funny to buy for her because she is a regifter, like a lot. I'm sure he just got back from seeing her today because it's Saturday, and I'm sure there's like a bag of stuff. I don't know, this woman gets given all the stuff and she just gives stuff away. And yeah, so I don't want to, sometimes I give things that I know will regift well. And then if she doesn't want this bowl though, I'm going to tell her she needs to regift it to me. So other little things I picked up, they had one of those the one that does handcrafted from other countries and stuff, and they just had this little bag which I liked. I was just looking for a little tiny Notions bag to throw into mine, and so it was the perfect size of little bag. So I got that, and then I got some stitch markers, which I think are really cute. They're really light. I don't usually like the kind of cloths that hang on, but when I picked these up, because they're just yarn and they're super tight, they're super light. So I'm going to try these. And then she uses Fray Check to keep them kind of all together. So yeah, so I picked up those. And then I picked up one more gift. There was a man who makes pens, and my boyfriend really enjoys a good pen. So I picked him up this pen. It's olive burl that was made. It's really just pretty. So yeah, so Another gift. Started my Christmas shopping because he's already done, apparently. He's already bought all the gifts for me. So he says. I think that's all I have to show you. That's all that's in front of me right now anyways. So what else do I have to talk about? So I've been watching lots of TV BritBox. I got rid of my Acorn and went to BritBox, and so I'm catching up on Vera. I'm watching Sister Boniface, Father Brown, all of those kind of British procedural shows that I really enjoy. And then I'm watching some on PBS as well, because why not? Books I'm reading. I think since I last saw you in September, I'm up to 147 for the year. So I am exceeding the number of books that I read last year, which 2022 I read 144. So I'm already past that and still have another month to go. So I'm definitely there. A lot of them are series, just continuing the series. So I'm reading Sean McGuire, her Cryptid series, which is about some cryptozoologists. So there are, creatures that live among us and some people that do it. And there's a whole family, and it's great. Her October Day series, I read book 12. October is a changeling, half fae, half human, and it's all the adventures. It's a book 12. I think there's 17 books. So I'm kind of going through there. Also, just a great fantasy book if you're looking. She's a really good writer, Sean McGuire, and it's Seanan. What else? Kevin Hearn, the Iron Druid Chronicles. I read another book in that series. Sarah Painter, Crow Investigations. I think I read the next book in that series. All these are kind of like fantasy kind of books. And then I'm reading Martha Wells, the Murderbot series. I'm up to, I think I read 3 and 4. And this is a great kind of science fiction one where it's a futuristic world where they have integrated AI and parts. And so there's this a security unit, and it is a mix of biological and computer parts. And he's sort of broken away from his protocol, and he's becoming independent. And it's these short stories following him around the universe as he's trying to solve this thing. And it's just really well done, really well written. And I'm up to the 4th one, a short story, and I think the next book is going to be her first full length. So these have all been novellas, and so very quick audio. But if you're looking for something a little different, science fiction, I highly recommend Martha Wells, the Murderbot series. Also listening to Robin Peterman, Midlife Crisis series. These are just fun, fluffy, kind of romancy sort of audios that are done. She has a bunch of them. I think I'm up to 12, and I'm just listening to them audiobooks. They're like 5 or 6 hours. And yeah, and the narrator reads it, is very funny, does great voices. Just something to lose myself in, but nothing that makes me think very hard, which is pretty much all my reading. James Patterson, I read the latest Alex Cross novel, number 31. I've read them all or listened to them. Actually, I prefer them in audiobooks now. This one was interesting in that it followed John Sampson and not so much Alex. And so I kind of like that. It was a very kind of different kind of novel. And yeah, so that's kind of what I've been going. As I said, a lot of what I'm reading is just continuation of series. In my wish list for my books, I think I have like 100 books because a lot of these series are long. Every so often I'll pick up a new series. Like I just read a series, an anthology series. And when I read an anthology series, I get like new series to read. And so all those get added. And so I'm slowly making my way through the many. I have like 4 books right now to read, but I'll be going on vacation. So I figure I might get some reading done. So I said I was going tomorrow. My knitting friends and I, who I just was in Rhinebeck with, some of them, we're going to be going to Florida. My friend gets a condo, she's part owner of a condo. And so we did this last year. We're going to do a week this year. It's so relaxing. I'm so looking forward to it. So I'm going out there. I fly out tomorrow on Sunday and I come back on the following Saturday. So, and it will just be a knitting and chilling time, hanging out. It will be very relaxing. And then, as I said, I don't have any more trips planned. The ones I have on the books next year are all my knitting ones so far. So the Virginia Beach retreat, since Stitches West is no more, there's no more conflict. So I'll be going to Virginia in late February. And then Northern California Knitting Retreat at the end of April. And then Zombie Apocalypse in June. Talks about me going to Maryland this year, so that might be materializing. My friend is trying to get a group of us to go over to Maryland, so I haven't been in a few years, so that might be fun. And then I don't have anything else really on the books right now. I do really want to get an international trip. I have talked to my mom about possibly doing an Alaska cruise next year, and with my nephew. My nephew, I always said I would take him anywhere in the world when he turned 18, and then COVID hit, and it was not a good time, and so I haven't taken his trip yet. He doesn't really have an interest in going internationally, but he said he might do an Alaska cruise. So we might do that. And yeah, I just got to get, sit down, figure out what I want to do and get them planned. I do like to have things planned out and not super last minute. I think that's it. Life-wise, work has been busy. Work's always busy, but I'm still taking a lot of time off. I have a lot of time I can take off. Part of that is I'm a government employee, but I have worked for the city of Los Angeles for 23 years. So I do have a fair amount in terms of I can bank quite a bit of vacation. So I have that. And then as well as I've been working so hard, so there's a lot of accumulated overtime. So if I took all of my time off at once, I think I can take 4 to 5 months. That's how much save time. So, and it constantly accrues, so I gotta use it. That's the other thing. My construction job is that I've been working on the last few years is about 95% constructed. We are into testing, functional testing, and startup, potentially a part of it. When I come back from vacation. So that will be slowing down. I'll be going into the finished paperwork part of a job. That will be a few months. We're probably pretty busy until February-ish, and then I should have a few months to clean up and do paperwork, and then we'll see what my next job is. I'm not sure what my next job is going to be. So that will be nice because hopefully I won't be working so much overtime. So that will be good. Life-wise, Apple the kitty is snuggling in and going in. We actually at Thanksgiving saw her former mom who had to rehome her, she was telling me some stories about her when she was young. So my boyfriend's cousin, second cousin who he got her from, works actually at a vet clinic. And so I guess Apple came in as a kitten when she was found when she was 6 or 7 weeks old. And she had been abused where she had been thrown against the wall and her jaw had been broken. And so they actually took her in and they wired her jaw shut and they fed her, liquids and stuff. And so she had to have a lot of care when she was kitten for quite a bit, for quite a few weeks, where she was staying until she was good enough to be adopted out. And by that time, my boyfriend's cousin had fallen in love with her and took her home. And so she was really, and had her, she's almost 12. So it had her a very long time. So it was a very hard decision for her to rehome her because her children started to develop allergies. So it was good. I could show her some pictures of Apple and she's living her best life. And she definitely is my cat. She has definitely imprinted on me. She follows me around everywhere. She's in here right now because I'm talking, and the minute I get up and be finished, it will, even though she's sleeping right now, within a minute of me being out of this room, she will be awake and following me. She just wants to be where I am. And then she sleeps right here on me. But she's super affectionate. She's super sweet. And yeah, I'm happy. I missed having a pet. So Apple the kitty is living her best life in a sunbeam right now. She is in a very bright sunbeam, which she does love a good sunbeam. So that's kind of where I got. This is kind of a long one. Again, I know it's been a while, and I think my next one will probably be beginning of January. I'll probably do my recap, be another month from now. So until then, though, happy holidays, everybody. I probably will miss you on the holidays. I want to wish everyone a happy holiday, a happy 2023. Hopefully everything is going well for you. I'm pretty happy. It's been a pretty good year. Saw lots of friends, family, all that jazz. And so health has been great. Life has been good. So you can find me on Ravelry and Instagram, though I don't post at all on Instagram. But maybe we're Instagram friends and I follow you. 1031 and Allison 1031 rather. And then yeah, I will do some notes. Most of my projects are all on Ravelry if you can use Ravelry. If not, I'm sorry. And that's it. So I hope this finds you well. I hope everyone's well. Everyone's having goodness. Just goodness. I wish everyone goodness. That sounds awkward, but that's it. That's a wrap from Hollywood, where fantasy meets fiber and dreams are knit. Bye, everybody.